Let's jump in and dive into this rivalry with Nevada just a little bit more, because there's some key connections to the personnel on the Wolfpack coaching staff that make this a little bit more interesting than it typically already would be. How about Jeff Choate in his first year leading the team? He, of course, was a member of the Boise State coaching staff in the Chris Petersen era, serving as the special teams coordinator, running backs coach, and linebackers coach from 2006 to 2011. Now, Choate was reportedly in the mix to become the Broncos head coach on 2 different occasions, back in 2021 when Andy Avalos was hired instead, and then last offseason when Jeremiah Dickey decided to stick with Spencer Danielson. When Choate was instead hired to coach Nevada afterwards, he then brought in former Broncos coach Kane Ione. Ione was the co-defensive coordinator and safeties coach for BSU from 2021 to 2023. Danielson was hired to become the head coach, and he made Eric Chenander the DC. Kane ended up finding the same opportunity to take the same job in Reno. This week, Danielson outlined his respect for both coaches, and he knows rivalry aside, these guys are going to have the Wolfpack ready to go.
I mean, once again, they're going to be extremely well coached coming here. I think the world of Coach Choate, and his Nevada team's getting better week in and week out. They played a lot of games. They had a week 0 game. They had SMU on the ropes. I don't know Coach Choate extremely well. I know Kane Ione very well, and I think the world of him as a coach. I know that defense is going to be relentless. They're going to be on the attack. They're going to be well coached. We will get Nevada's best on Saturday night, and that's what we want. They're going to get our best too. Now we got to go earn the right to go do it in how we practice, because this is the most important game of our season. Why? Because it is the next one.
You can say it with us.
If there's anything we know, if there's anything we know.
We can all in unison say because it's the next one.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we should start to do that. Kind of just turn it into like a chant or something like that. Why? Because it is the next one.
I think it would work. I love a good Spencer Danielsonism. All right, so back to Jeff Choate. In his weekly press conference, he was extremely complimentary of Boise State as a team, as a coaching staff, as an administration. He talked about how much he loved his time coaching here, the brotherhood this team was able to establish, and you can still feel it to this day. He also cited Boise State as a great example of a program that knew how to invest when they got to the top. Said Gene Blameyer did a great job investing in this program back then in the Kellen Moore era, and that momentum has just carried through the present day in the Jeremiah Dickey era. Now, that said, Choate has embraced this rivalry and, to an extent, the role of the villain that comes with it to the fans here in Boise. This got a lot of attention back in January, shortly after he took the head job for the Wolfpack. On a recruiting visit to the Treasure Valley, he said they were going to paint Boise a different shade of blue, and then he commented on that post, doubling down, saying, "Give me all the smoke." That got fans riled up. But I'll tell you what, Boise State offensive lineman Cage Casey loves the smack talk. He says going into a game like this where you know you're getting the opponent's best makes it all the more fun to just get out there and go to work.
I think that's awesome. I think that's the competition we live for in football. I mean, if we didn't have that kind of competition, I don't know if we'd have the same kind of joy. I mean, it'd just be sort of like a job. show up, do your thing, leave. But I think that kind of competition, the rivalries, a little dirt talk, I feel like that's what gives you the fun to want to go out there and play.
I love this storyline. I think that Jeff Choate is going to have the Nevada Wolfpack ready to roll today. Personally, I think that they're also just going to be outmanned. I think that Boise State, by far the superior team when it comes to talent, execution, all of that stuff. So I don't expect this game to be close today by any means, and neither does Las Vegas for that matter. Boise State, I think they're over a 3-touchdown favorite. Some are almost 24 points over the Wolfpack. That being said, they are going to get Nevada's best today.
Absolutely, and I like this smack talk. I think when you look at what Jeff Choate has been saying, throughout this season, he called Oregon State a Pac-2 team.
Pac-2.
He said, give me 3 years, we're going to beat Colorado State by 20 after losing to them last weekend. I think it shows the disparity of. Spencer Danielson would never talk like that, but it shows the difference in these two programs, where they're at right now. And the fact that, Choate wants to bring the X factor. He wants his guys hyped up, and I bet they buy into it. And, they're excited for this game, and maybe now more familiar with this rivalry and history than they would have been otherwise.
Yep, and, hey, a big reason why they posted that, too, again, they came and got a recruit out of Boise, Idaho. Isaiah Reed, a phenomenal football player at Rocky Mountain High School. The Grizz won a playoff game last night. They're undefeated on the season.
Favorites to win it all.
Favorites to win it all. So they did come up here and they got a recruit to commit to them.